Imagine a beloved actress who charmed millions as the heartwarming mum to a faithful collie and a pioneering scientist stranded in space. Now picture her legacy fading with her passing at 100. June Lockhart, the iconic star who brought warmth and strength to roles that defined a generation, has left us, leaving fans nostalgic and reflective. But here's where it gets intriguing. Her journey wasn't just about fame. It was a tapestry of family, talent, and unexpected twists that challenge what we think about Hollywood legacies. And this is the part most people miss. How her real-life connections to inventors and astronauts added layers of authenticity to her on-screen personas. Let's dive into her remarkable life, unpacking the stories behind the smiles, and explore why her influence still resonates today. June Lockhart, fondly remembered by baby boomers as Lassie's devoted mother, passed away peacefully from natural causes in Santa Monica on Thursday. At 100 years old, she embodied nurturing roles across iconic CBS series from the 1960s, including the sci-fi adventure Lost in Space and the rural comedy Petticoat Junction. For newcomers to classic TV, these shows weren't just entertainment. They were cultural touchstones that shaped how we view family dynamics and exploration. Lassie, for instance, revolved around a clever dog solving problems, often with heart-tugging loyalty. Lost in Space imagined a family battling aliens and robots on a distant planet. And Petticoat Junction humorously depicted life in a small town, highlighting community and quirkiness in ways that feel timeless. Her roots were steeped in Hollywood royalty. Her father, Gene Lockhart, was a renowned character actor nominated for an Oscar in 1939 for his role in Algiers, and he appeared in beloved films like His Girl Friday, Abe Lincoln in Illinois, Meet John Doe, and Miracle on 34th Street. Her mother, Kathleen Lockhart, starred in movies such as Lady in the Lake. Famously, the couple met through none other than Thomas Edison himself, who enlisted them to promote one of his groundbreaking inventions, showcasing how innovation and artistry intertwined in early cinema. They even portrayed husband and wife Bob and Emily Cratchit in MGM's 1938 adaptation of A Christmas Carol, where young June made her film debut as one of their children. As she humorously noted, "You could say I am one of Edison's good ideas," a light-hearted nod to her origins that adds a fun, relatable charm to her biography. By her mid-20s, the fresh-faced and spirited Lockhart had already graced the screen in notable films. She co-starred with legends like Charles Boyer and Bette Davis in All This and Heaven 2, 1940. Played Gary Cooper's sister in the patriotic drama Sergeant York, 1941. And appeared as Lucille Ballard, initially misunderstood by Judy Garland's character, in the musical Meet Me in St. Louis, 1944. She ventured into horror as a woman fearing she was a werewolf in Universal's She-Wolf of London, 1946, and took on a supportive wife role in the crime thriller T-Men, 1947, directed by Anthony Mann. These early roles showcased her versatility, from wholesome heroines to characters grappling with inner turmoil, helping beginners understand how actresses like her laid the groundwork for today's diverse portrayals. Lockhart's big break came in 1958 when she stepped in for Cloris Leachman as Ruth Martin on Lassie, turning her into an American household name. Though initially offered the part before Leachman, she declined it, but later reconsidered, reflecting, "I thought about what I had been offered and said to myself, what am I being so damn grand about?" She added that supporting 2 children, the role's dignity, the show's established success, and a sponsor made it an irresistible opportunity. As Ruth, she brought depth to the resilient farm wife, fretting over her husband Hugh Riley's harvests and nurturing their adopted son Timmy, portrayed by young John Provost, who joined the series as a runaway orphan. Over more than 200 episodes, Lockhart earned an Emmy nomination in 1959, and during her tenure, 4 different dogs played the legendary Lassie. A fun fact illustrating the behind-the-scenes challenges of animal actors. The series evolved dramatically in the 1964-65 season, shifting away from the boy and his dog format to pair Lassie with a Forest Service ranger, Robert Bray. The Martin family storyline ended with them relocating to Australia, explaining Lassie's absence, a twist that disappointed fans and highlighted how TV producers sometimes prioritize change for ratings. Lockhart later admitted, "I certainly enjoyed Lassie. I'd be with it yet if they hadn't changed the format," revealing a hint of regret that sparks debate. Was this a bold reinvention or a betrayal of the show's core appeal? Many argue it kept the series fresh, but others feel it diluted the emotional bonds that made it special. Not one to rest, Lockhart swiftly transitioned to another maternal figure, biochemist Maureen Robinson, on Lost in Space from 1965 to 1968. She landed the gig after a guest spot on Irwin Allen's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, proving her chemistry with sci-fi sensibilities. Paired with her on-screen husband, Professor John Robinson, Guy Williams, and their kids, Marta Kristen, Angela Cartwright, and Billy Mummy, the Robinsons faced perils as stowaway Jonathan Harris derailed their colonization journey. This role let Lockhart explore science themes, influencing her personal interests and leading to real-life advocacy for space exploration. Following the show's cancellation, she joined Petticoat Junction in its 6th season as Janet Craig, the new Lady Doctor in the whimsical town of Hooterville, filling the void left by the late B. Benadet's character. She boarded at the Shady Rest Hotel and stayed until the series wrapped in 1970, delivering humour amid rural antics. This pivot underscores her adaptability, but it also raises questions. Did playing perpetually nurturing mums typecast her, or did she choose these roles for their empowerment? Some might say it limited her range, while others celebrate how she redefined strong femininity on screen. Born on June 25, 1925, in New York City, June was the only child of her actor parents, who wed the previous June. Clearly, the month held sentimental value. At 8, she performed in a silent scene in Peter Ibbotson at the Metropolitan Opera House, while studying ballet. In 1934, her father's MGM contract moved the family to Southern California, where she attended Westlake School for Girls, boarding there and enjoying weekends water skiing with her parents at Lake Arrowhead. Her Broadway triumph in 1947, starring as an ingenue in For Love or Money, earned her a Tony, Donaldson Award, and Theatre World Award, plus honours from the Associated Press as Woman of the Year for Drama. In the 1950s, she dominated TV with roles on shows like Zane Grey Theatre, Wagon Train, Gunsmoke, Studio One in Hollywood, and the United States Steel Hour. She even filled in as a puppeteer on Kukla, Fran and Ollie, and hosted beauty pageants and parades, showcasing her multifaceted talents. In later years, Lockhart made guest appearances as matriarch Maria Ramirez on General Hospital, Ryan Stiles' mum on The Drew Carey Show, a kindergarten teacher on Full House, and Tori Spelling's grandmother on Beverly Hills 90210. She appeared in a Roseanne episode featuring iconic TV mums, and had a cameo in the 1998 Lost in Space film as Principal Cartwright. Her daughter, actress Anne Lockhart, has starred in series like Battlestar Galactica and Chicago Fire, and they collaborated on Magnum P.I. and the sci-fi flick Troll. Lockhart's Lost in Space stint ignited her passion for outer space, leading her to engage with NASA in Houston and beyond. She attended events, mingled with astronauts and their families, and in 2013 received the Exceptional Public Achievement Medal for her contributions. Interestingly, her father penned lyrics for the 1919 ballad The World is Waiting for the Sunrise, popularized by artists like Benny Goodman, Les Paul Mary Ford, and Willie Nelson. In 1992, Lockhart introduced it to NASA, where it became the wake-up call for the Columbia Space Shuttle crew. A touching example of how personal legacies can inspire global achievements. Dwayne Berg contributed to this report. As we reflect on June Lockhart's extraordinary life, one can't help but wonder, does her path prove that nurturing roles empower actresses, or do they pigeonhole them in an industry hungry for variety? And here's a controversial take. Some might argue her wholesome image overshadowed her Broadway successes and sci-fi depth, begging the question, was Hollywood's typecasting a choice or a constraint? What do you think? Did her mum roles define her, or did she define them? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear agreements, disagreements, or stories of how she influenced your view of classic TV.